1941 is the new Steven Spielberg comedy film, and starring in it is Christopher Lee. Mr. Lee, you play a character who speaks nothing but German in the film. Would you tell us a little bit about this bizarre personality?
You mean the character itself, or how I came to be asked to play it?
Well,
Just
tell
the
us
character.
both. Tell us.
Well, I was in London filming Arabian Adventure. And when I got home one evening, my wife said, Steven Spielberg's been on the telephone. And I thought, well, it must be very early in the morning in Los Angeles. And she said, no, 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 he's in Paris. Would you call him back? I called him back. We spoke. And he said to me, the first thing, Christopher, I want to know before we go any further is, do you speak German? Now, I had no idea why he was asking that question. I said, yes. He said, do you speak it fluently? I said, yes. He said, fine. Would you come and see me tomorrow when I get to London, my hotel? I want to talk to you. I went in. I saw him. He told me the story of 1941. He said there was this character in it, Captain von Kleinschmidt, and he said, would you play the part? And I said, yes, and that was it. So that's how I came to play it. The actual character, von Kleinschmidt, I believe I'm right in saying that the Dean of USC had a name very similar, von Kleinschmidt, is the German naval observer on the Japanese submarine that shortly after Pearl Harbor opened fire on the Californian coast, and this did happen.
So this is based on a true incident?
That particular part of the film is based on a true incident. What went on in the submarine and what went on the mainland, I would say, is not probably entirely true, although perhaps not too far from the truth. The Japanese submarine is commanded by Toshiro Mifune, and he and his entire crew only speak Japanese. I, as the German naval observer, who is there very much against his will, only speak German. And to me, one of the great comedy elements of this particular story, which goes throughout the entire picture from the very beginning to the very end, backwards and forwards, of course, with the other stories, is that I speak German to them and they speak Japanese to me. There are, of course, subtitles for the benefit of the viewers. But we obviously refuse to speak each other's languages, although we obviously do understand them. We speak our own. And that's all I did. I spoke German. I maybe had a couple of lines in English and I think a few words in Japanese, but it's a constant attempt by each one of us to get the better of the other.
What about Arabian Adventure? Is this in the style of Sinbad?
I suppose so, yes. It's a complete Arabian Nights story, as the name would suggest. It's for children. It's a family picture. It's all about flying carpets and genie in bottles and wicked necromancers, guess who, from that sort of unnamed part of the world who summon up storms and all sorts of wicked and adventurous things. It's a very entertaining picture. I haven't seen it, but I did it last year.
Well, we're doing a special screening for that film. We'll be giving you more details about that later. Thanks very much, Christopher Lee, for stopping by the Creature Feature set.
Not at all.
Christopher Lee, we were delighted earlier this year to see The Wicker Man finally released after a very traumatic history of being brutalized, cut up, mistreated. You must have been overjoyed to see the film at least receive some distribution this year.
Yes, I was delighted, and the audience reaction was everything we could possibly have hoped for. It is a remarkable picture. It's unique. I've said many times, nobody's ever seen a film like it. I will always maintain that. I still think it's the best part I've ever had. I still think it's a very remarkable and extraordinary movie, and I just hope that we will be able to continue this distribution at a higher and possibly better level.
Is there a problem with the distribution again?
So I understand, yes. The old story, ever since this film was made in 1972, it's been dogged by ill fortune, mainly on the, based on personality conflicts and politics and all sorts of things. Not on the
nothing
picture.
To do with the quality of the film
Nothing
itself.
whatever. Nothing. We've even, or we, somebody's even succeeded in losing the film. 300 cans of outtakes disappeared and apparently ended up under a freeway.
Yes, I read that.
So we can't recut the picture, even if we found the original material, because it doesn't exist.
It's gone. How do you feel about the directions that horror films and science fiction films have taken in recent years in general?
Irrespective of whether they're good or whether they aren't good, and I haven't seen them all, of course, I feel the main difference is that today they spend vast sums of money on these pictures, which gives it, in a sense, greater production value. I also feel that today they rely in these pictures more on the special effects, photographic effects, sets, all of which, again, comes down to money. Whereas we, in the days when I made these pictures, which is a very long time ago, depended on the performances of the actors and the actresses. Now today, I think they get swamped by the sets.
They're overpowered by the huge giant spaceships and
It
special
can
effects.
happen, quite obviously.
Yes, right. Occasionally we see you in films that are not top-grade films, such as End of the World,
been in quite a few of
Starships,
those.
Invasions.
Oh, yes.
Do you take these roles simply to keep working? Is that your philosophy?
No, not entirely, no. I took Starship Invasions because it was a good idea, and Robert Vaughan had agreed to do it, and you always go into a picture with the best of intentions and the highest of hopes. Unfortunately, the film didn't end up to be as good as we had hoped. That's something that was out of my control. As far as The End of the World was concerned, I was informed quite categorically that Joseph Ferrer, Richard Basehart, Arthur Kennedy, to name but a few, were also going to be in the picture, and on the basis of their acceptance of the parts that I was told they were going to play, I agreed to do the picture. When I came to do the picture, I found that this was, unfortunately, completely untrue.
They had
And
lied to you?
They had.
I see.
And I did the picture because I had agreed to do the picture, but I regretted it. And that is the answer as to why I was in those two pictures.
Have you any goals that you have yet to achieve as an actor?
Oh, lots.
Can you tell us what those are?
Well, some of them I don't know because the stories haven't been written and the parts haven't been written, but the goal of every actor, obviously, is to go on, hopefully, from one good picture and one good part to another. There are a lot of things that I haven't done yet. As I say, some of them don't exist at the moment in one form or another, but I'm always hoping that it will be that magic picture and that magic part. And I've just finished my 141st movie. I'm not likely to make another 141, but I do hope that I will go on and on and on making interesting pictures with worthwhile parts, because that's the only thing that matters. Will the story appeal to the public? Is the part worth playing? And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter whether it's a day or whether it's a month or whether it's almost a year. It's, is it worth playing? What can I do with it? And can I make a valid contribution to the picture?
Christopher Lee has made 141 motion pictures during his career, and I'm curious to know, Mr. Lee, what are some of your favorites?
As far as Hammer's concerned, I think three: The Scream of Fear with Susan Strasberg, The Devil's Bride, and Rasputin. The others, I would say, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, with a great director like Billy Wilder, The Man with the Golden Gun, the James Bond movie, The Three Musketeers, The Four Musketeers, certainly The Wicker Man, and I would say now, unquestionably, I can add to that 1941.
The film we're all waiting to see, the Steven Spielberg
I'm waiting
film.
to see it too.
Okay, let's flip the coin over now. What are some of the films you like least that you've done? Can you
The
name
list
4 or
is
5?
rather large. It
Pick
might
4
take a
or
little
5 at the
time.
very bottom for us.
Oh, I don't think that would really be fair, you know, because nobody sets out to make a bad movie. And if I was to say that that was terrible and this was terrible, it could be because I thought I was terrible in it. Other people would have thought so too. Or it could have been that the direction wasn't very good or the story wasn't very good. One always gets involved in films that one, as I said earlier, hopes will be successful. I don't think it's quite fair because of the other people involved to say that was really the end.
I see. Some of your other films coming out, Bear Island
Yeah.
and Alistair McLean.
Yes, that was
espionage
with
thriller.
Donald Sutherland, Vanessa Redgrave, Richard Widmark, myself, Barbara Parkins, Lloyd Bridges, very good cast. Then there was
You
a
also did The
picture-
Serial.
Yes, indeed, The Serial, which of course I did here, which is, as you know, a satire on Marion County. And in that I played an American.
American?
Yes, an
Without
American
accent?
businessman.
An
Yes,
American accent, I
yes.
should say.
It's a Paramount movie, and I played an American businessman. He is not quite what he seems. He is...
Does he have
other
a hot
things
tub
as well.
and peacock feathers over
No,
there?
no, a little bit more bizarre than that, perhaps, but I think it would spoil the story if I was to tell you. But then I suppose the history of my career as an actor has been frequently that I haven't quite been what I seemed. And why not? Let's have a bit of mystery. Let's have a bit of magic. Never show too much. Let people think for themselves. What you see is not nearly as alarming sometimes as what you don't see.